Okay, friends, this is going to be the video that I think a lot of you have been waiting for. This is purely a hypothetical video. I've been very nervous about sharing this with you all. I think it's really important that you see this hypothetical information. So first off, let's start with something not hypothetical. I'm going to show you a news article. So this is an article about the election in the country Georgia. And there's a section in this article about something called a Russian tail. And it says that there is an international election watchdog group that says they were able to independently reproduce signs of fraud in the Georgian election. This includes a statistical abnormality called a Russian tail, which is a suspicious spike in voter distribution often observed in Russian elections. This is what that looks like. So first of all, the way to read this chart, I don't know how they do it, but when I'm about to show you mine, the way I've got it is this represents the candidate's share of the vote per tabulator or precinct, whatever we're looking at. And this is the number of votes that were in this percentage for that candidate. So on mine, I think it's a little different than this, but on mine, we would say, okay, so this candidate has this many number of votes in all of the precincts or tabulators where there's about 55 or 60% of the vote for that candidate, okay? Now, we would expect for this to look like a bell curve, and right here we see a bell curve. That's a nice bell curve. But then we see this other extra little bitty bell curve right here, and that's not normal, and that is called the Russian tail. Now I would like to tell you a very hypothetical story about my cats. I have two cats. I've got a cute little tuxie named Hope, and I've got a big boy named Whizzer. He's a really big guy, and he's got a really big tail, and one could call it a Russian tail. And Whizzer has a habit of stealing treats from Hope. And we're going to look at some data about all of the treats that Whizzer has stolen from Hope in November 2024. First off, here's a normal chart showing no treats being stolen. Each cat has a pretty good distribution of treats amongst them, and we can see because there's a nice bell curve for each one of my cats here. Okay, the blue is Hope, the red is Whizzer. Okay, got it? This year, Whizzer's been a bad boy, and I'm going to show you how the distribution of treats he's stolen looks a little different. So here's my cat Whizzer being a very bad boy, stealing treats from Hope, and we can see it because here's the sort of a bell curve, and here's a Russian tail. Okay, and the reason that something like this would happen, by the way, is because treats have been taken from here and pushed that way. So the treats that should have been here are now over here. So whenever Whizzer has a higher percent of the treats, he also has significantly more treats than when he has lower percentages of treats. Now, I wanted to make a simulator to show what it looks like when Whizzer steals treats from Hope. So first off, I wanted to show what would happen if I reverse engineered Whizzer's treat stealing habits. And so what I'm going to say is in treat containers that have over 250 treats in them, I'm going to say we're going to give 22.5% of Whizzer's treats back to Hope. This is what that looks like if I do that. There's a bell curve. You see it? Next, I wanted to see if I could take normal treat data and show this result happening. So this is AI generated treat data, and I'm going to say that in treat bins that have over 1,200 treats in them, I'm going to give 48% of them to Whizzer from Hope. We have a Russian tail. Next, I'm going to do that same thing. This is that same 2016 normal looking data that we looked at a second ago. And now I'm going to show what happens if I give a percentage of the blue person's votes to the red person And by votes, of course, I mean treats. So this number is going to be bigger than the other one because this is looking at precinct level treats and not tabulator level treats. So don't worry about that. But look what happens if I trade over 47% of the treats in bins that have over 1,000 treats in them. There it is, the Russian tail. So that's what happens if you take normal data and apply this treat cheat, if you will, to the normal data. Now, as I said, this is, of course, purely hypothetical, and Whizzer would never steal treats from Hope. He's a very good boy. He would never do that. So let's keep this hypothetical, please. I hope you enjoy that treat cheat data that I have just shown you. Actually, the funny thing is, Whizzer really likes treats, but Hope does not. Anyway, hypothetical, thank you, bye. If you'd like to learn more about my cat Whizzer and his crazy tail, please go to Dire Talk's YouTube channel where he has a very great video about this that you can share far and wide.